What if I told you that there is a group in the Middle East that you may not know much about, but has been shaping the region for decades? A group that has been involved in wars, politics, and regional alliances, but also in assassinations, terrorism, and social services. A group that has been backed by Iran and opposed by Israel and other forces. A group that some praise as a hero and others condemn as a villain. That group is Hezbollah, and it is the topic of this video. In this video, we will reveal the secrets and mysteries of Hezbollah, who they are, what they want, how they emerged, and how they relate to Iran in the current crisis between Israel and Hamas. These are some of the questions that we will answer in this video, using facts, logic, analysis, and a touch of humor. Hezbollah, which means the Party of God in Arabic, is a Shiite Muslim political party and militant group based in Lebanon, where it has a strong presence in the south and the Bekaa Valley. It also operates in Syria, Iraq, Yemen, and other countries, where it supports Iran's interests and allies. Hezbollah is regarded by many countries, including the United States, Israel, and some European states, as a terrorist organization, while others, such as Russia, China, and some Arab and Muslim states, view it as a legitimate resistance movement. But how did Hezbollah come into existence, and what motivated its formation? To answer these questions, let's go back to the 1980s, a time when shoulder pads were a fashion statement and the Lebanese Civil War was the main event. Enter Hezbollah. Born during this chaotic period when Lebanon was torn apart by sectarian violence and foreign intervention. Inspired by the Iranian Revolution, the most dramatic and radical change in the region at the time, a group of Shiite clerics and militants decided to join forces, with a little help from Iran's Revolutionary Guard, who acted like the behind-the-scenes producer, providing funds, weapons, training, and a dash of ideological guidance. Hezbollah made its debut. What were their goals, you ask? Well, the usual. Fight against Israeli occupation, aspire to establish an Islamic state in Lebanon, and adopt a bit of Iranian governance to spice things up. Their 1985 manifesto, which sounded like a declaration of war, pledged alliance to the revolutionary leader and the founder of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Ayatollah Khomeini, and casually tossed around phrases like destruction of Israel and liberation of Jerusalem. Not exactly a peace-loving document. Since the 1990s, Hezbollah has evolved from a band of ragtag guerrilla rebels into a formidable force, numbering around 100,000 strong according to the group's leader, Hassan Nasrallah. Hezbollah's relationship with Iran is one of the most important and complex aspects of the group's identity and role. Iran is Hezbollah's main patron, providing it with financial support estimated at $700 million every year, alongside military and political support, as well as ideological and religious guidance. Iran sees Hezbollah as an extension of its influence and power in the region, and as a deterrent and a proxy against its enemies, especially Israel, the United States, and Saudi Arabia. Hezbollah, in turn, sees Iran as its leader and protector, and as the source of its inspiration and legitimacy. Hezbollah follows the doctrine of Wilayat al-Faqih, which means the guardianship of the jurist, and which grants Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khomeini, the ultimate authority over all Shiite Muslims. Hezbollah also shares Iran's vision of creating a resistance axis in the region, which includes Syria, Iraq, Yemen, and other countries, where Iran and Hezbollah support and train various Shiite militias and groups that oppose the status quo and the Western-backed regimes. Hezbollah's relationship with Iran was like a marriage, but without the love, the trust, and the divorce. However, Hezbollah's relationship with Iran is not without tensions and challenges, as the group has to balance its loyalty to Iran with its own interests and identity as a Lebanese and Arab party. Hezbollah sometimes has to adapt to the changing circumstances and realities on the ground, and to take into account the views and demands of its allies and constituents in Lebanon and the region. Hezbollah also has to deal with the pressure and criticism from its rivals and opponents, who accuse it of being a puppet and tool of Iran, and of serving Iran's agenda at the expense of Lebanon's and the Arab world's interest and security. Hezbollah's dilemma was to be or not to be. That is the question. They were not very good at making decisions, but they were very good at making excuses. Hezbollah's role in the current crisis between Israel and Hamas is another example of the complexity and ambiguity of the group's position and behavior. Hezbollah has shown its solidarity and support for Hamas, the Palestinian Islamist group that has been locked in a deadly battle with Israel since May 10, 2023. Hezbollah has denounced Israel's aggression and violations of the rights and dignity of the Palestinian people, and has applauded Hamas's resistance and achievements. Hezbollah has also threatened Israel with the consequences of expanding the conflict to other fronts, such as Lebanon and Syria, where Hezbollah has a presence and a capability to strike Israel. Hezbollah has also rallied its supporters and sympathizers in Lebanon and the region, organizing protests and demonstrations in favor of the Palestinian cause and against Israel and the United States. But Hezbollah has not lifted a finger against Israel, as it did in the past, during the 2006 war and other clashes. Hezbollah has been careful and restrained, as it faces many challenges and risks that limit its options and influence. Hezbollah knows the price and outcome of a new war with Israel, which could be disastrous for both sides, especially for Lebanon, which is already in a deep economic, political, and social crisis. Hezbollah also knows the regional and international dynamics and pressures that affect the situation and the balance of power, such as the ongoing talks between Iran and the United States over the nuclear deal, and the rapprochement between Israel and some Arab countries, such as the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain. Hezbollah's strategy is to talk big, but act small. They are good at making noise, but not at taking action. Meanwhile, as Lebanon teeters on collapse, Hezbollah seizes opportunities, like importing fuel from Iran in 2021, violating U.S. sanctions. Despite efforts to boost credibility, suspicions persist due to alleged involvement in the 2020 Beirut port explosions. A judicial probe, obstructed by Hezbollah, investigates negligence. Some experts believe Hezbollah is losing its grip, seen in the 2022 elections with support for independent candidates and the Lebanese Forces Party, indicating a shift in public perception about its role as the country's protector. Feel free to subscribe or drop any questions in the comments below.